In this video, I'm gonna give you the no BS guide to perfecting your sleep. Now, I think it's a shame that they don't teach you this in high school, and I'm gonna give you that valuable information that could change your life. Now, I don't wanna sound dramatic, but honestly, sleep is the foundation of everything upon which every pillar is built on top of. What do I mean by that? Sleep affects every single aspect of your life, from your happiness to your performance to your recovery to your hormones, anything that you can think of, cognitive function, the ability to run further. It all comes down to perfecting your sleep. Now, the first step to perfecting your sleep is getting your regularity maxed out. How do you max out your regularity? Well, it's very simple. The first thing you're gonna do, and this is like an actionable step, you can do this right now, is you're gonna write down the time you wanna wake up and the time you're gonna go and plan to be asleep by. So for me, right at this point in my life, it's 12 at night, I'd be asleep, I'll wake up at 8. There's been times in my life where it's be asleep by 8 p.m. and wake up at 4 in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? So understand that. And understand that it is optimal to get between 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, there are people that can function between 6, 5, sometimes even 4 hours of sleep. I think only 10% of the population can survive on less than 7 hours of sleep. So, you know, I know we all like to think we're all special, but most cases you're gonna be between 7, 8, or even 9 hours of sleep. So once you figured out, okay, you know, you're gonna aim for 8 hours of sleep. So let's say you go to bed at 10 p.m. and you're gonna wake up at 6 a.m. Here is why that is going to be not optimal for you, right? That is not optimal because you are not going to be able to fall asleep at 10 p.m. every single night. So what really needs to happen is you need to be in bed by 9, getting ready, unwinding, chillaxing until 10, and then that's when you're gonna fall asleep. So for me, I get into bed at 11 p.m. and I fall asleep around 12 every single night, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier. That's exactly what you need to be doing. So really expect yourself to be in bed by 9 p.m. to wake up at 6 a.m. Second step to perfecting your sleep. Now that you have your time and now that you have all of this set up, I'm gonna hit you with the second actionable step, and that is going to be turn on the blue light filter on your phone. So make sure that you get the blue light filter turned on. Why? Because avoiding lights close to bedtime will make it much easier for you to stay consistent with your new schedule and for you to actually fall asleep at night, because low amounts of photon energy or light energy into our eyes will trick our brain into thinking it's daytime, and your ancestors would wake up with the sunrise and go to bed with the sunset. There was no sort of artificial light except for like firelight, and even that is super low in light energy. So when we have these bright phone, like 100% brightness, and you're staring at it the middle of the night, it is going to make it harder for you to fall asleep. So before going to bed, make sure you avoid bright lights for about an hour. And even if you wake up in the middle of the night, avoid bright lights. Especially blue lights will keep you up easier. That's why you're turning on the blue light filter. And just a quick reminder, if you want this video to actually be helpful for you, make sure you are listening to my actionable steps. I'm telling you right now that these actionable steps work, but they only work if you are committed to doing them. So at this point, make sure that you actually are doing this. Step 3 is how you're gonna wake up. Now, how could waking up make it easier to fall asleep? I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. And this part changed my whole testosterone. I went from having low testosterone to having good testosterone. And this one simple trick changed it all in a week. I don't know any other habit that will have such a profound effect in your life in such a short amount of time, and that is getting morning sunlight, or when you wake up sunlight. Now, when you wake up, it takes a lot of light energy to set your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is that internal clock that tells your body when to feel tired and when to feel up and energized and motivated. Now, it takes a lot of light energy to activate this rhythm. The problem with the modern day society is the first thing most of us will do is they'll open up their phone, they'll check Twitter, they'll check Instagram, they'll be in bed for like an hour just scrolling, death scrolling on their phone. We need to avoid this and replace it with actually going outside for about 10 to 15 minutes on a sunny day and 32 an hour on a cloudy day. Now, let me explain to you why this is important. Well, it gives you the proper amount of light energy from the sun, the proper amount of photons into your eyes that sets your rhythm properly, which will make it easier for you to fall asleep. It also allows your hormones to produce properly. It allows so many benefits that I can't even get into it. I just encourage you to try it. Like, that could be a video all on its own, the importance of morning sunlight. Now, if you're waking up before sunlight, the brightest artificial light is what you're gonna have to do. And to actually view this morning sunlight, you cannot do it with sunglasses on. You cannot look out your windshield or your window. You actually have to get up out of bed and walk outside. That shouldn't be that difficult, especially if you're watching a video about how to, perfect your sunlight. So your actionable step for this is gonna be, make sure that you set a reminder on your phone to, when you wake up tomorrow, to go outside and get sunlight. So when you reach for your phone, which is probably the first thing you do in the morning, and you look at it and you're like, oh, there's my reminder. So you throw on a sweater, it's winter for me right now. So I throw on a sweater and I literally open up my back door and I just stick my head out and I'm just looking around, doing some deep breathing. And honestly, if you make this a good habit, it could really improve your mood. It can make you feel better. Do not skip this step. Also, bonus light tip that I've heard is very valuable, and that is seeing the sunset. Now, me personally, I do not do this very often. I do try to do it, but some days I don't, some days I do. And I've noticed that the days that I do, it does make it easier for me to go to bed. And what seeing the sunset does is tell your mind, your circadian rhythm that, okay, it's getting dark now, it's time to calm down, it's almost time to go to bed, and it preps your rhythm for that. And lastly, we're going to talk about exercise, diet, and caffeine. First of all, you should avoid caffeine 8 hours before going to bed. Why? Because it can have a detrimental effect into falling asleep. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do not necessarily understand the literature about this too well, because I myself do not intake any caffeine throughout the day, and that is for completely separate reasons. But I have heard that it is good advice to avoid caffeine 8 hours before going to bed. Dieting. I don't think I really need to explain it to you how important eating a good, healthy diet full of whole foods is. You should already know that you are going to experience insane benefits if you're eating junk food every day and you go to eating good food. It will even impact your sleep and your sleep quality. So it's very important that you get onto a good, healthy diet. Lastly, exercise. It has been shown that if you exercise earlier on, that will make you feel sleepy earlier in the night. So understand that exercising earlier throughout the day will make it easier for you to fall asleep later at night. Honestly, if you do all of these steps, perfecting your sleep should be good. Now, I could go into more depth on why all of these things happen, why it's important to set your circadian rhythm, why doing all of these different habits will fix your sleep. But I have a challenge for you. Why don't you actually take this video, a video you found online, and add it into your life? Most people will just consume the content. They'll hear me saying all this advice, they'll see my sleep scores, but they won't actually do anything. So my challenge for you is to watch this video and actually use these steps tonight. I told you could do this today. In a week or two, your sleep will have improved so much, and you'll come back to this video and you'll comment, bro, this advice actually works. And I'm telling you, because I used to get that trash sleep quality and now I don't. Now, I am going to end this video off with a prayer. You are welcome to join me. If not at this point, have a blessed day. Hello, Lord. I just want to say thank you for everything you provided me with. Thank you for allowing me to speak to this camera. Thank you for the wind that I feel hitting my skin. And I'm just very happy to be here and aiding people with their sleep. Lord, please push this video out to the people who need better sleep. I don't care if this video really gets thousands of views, as long as it helps people. Does that make sense, Lord? And of course, I just hope that you bless these people and aid them in improving their sleep and really make them realize how important it is to be getting good sleep. I love you, Lord. Amen.